It's been a long, hot weekend here at Road America. Hot in terms of temperature and hotly fought as well with the drivers in USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. F2000 drivers wrapped things up yesterday, but today, on a Sunday morning, another warm-up. We're ready to go for the final run of the triple header for USF Pro 2000. The driver beside me had a great day on Saturday, a couple of top tens. Logan Adams from Comet Racing, Newcastle Motorsport Park. How good do you feel about yesterday?
I feel great. We definitely take those results and move forward, try to make some changes and see what we can do today. But yeah, we'll definitely take that away from the weekend and move forward with it.
I think one of the big things is obviously you guys are a single car team. This is a family team, right? And you guys are digging. Your grandfather is here, your dad, your mom is all part of it. That's what's big about this team. You're out there going against the big teams with 3-4 cars battling it out. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. We're learning a lot, and I think we're starting to maybe get those guys on their toes a little bit, I hope. So, but yeah, we're gonna try our best and see if we can learn anything else and try and move forward.
A little cooler this morning than it was yesterday, like mid-90s. How were you through those races yesterday? A couple of those drivers were dying out there when they came in.
I was definitely hot. I came over the radio and told my mom, "Can you have that water bottle ASAP?" But yeah, it was definitely hot. Definitely going to have to get used to that, spend some time in the sauna.
What do you think about today? Final race of the weekend, another top 10. Are you aiming a little farther forward?
Yeah. We don't want to get our hopes too high, but we just want to take what we can get and move from there.
One of the fantastic stories here, of course, is this single-car effort, right? This family team here for Comet Racing. Logan Adams, of course, third-generation driver. His grandfather, Mark Dismore, Sr., a winner in Texas in the IRL, running in the Indianapolis 500. Third generation, but digging here as a single-car team. Logan here, along with a number of other drivers in the USF Pro 2000, got a chance to meet with some Indy Next team owners and team managers earlier this week and get a chance to talk about their future, where they're going in 2026 and beyond. It was a fantastic opportunity for them, of course, to meet the next jobs, the next bosses, and of course the same went the other way, getting a chance to meet the future stars of Indy Next and IndyCar. We had a chance to have a look at that meeting. Take a look what we picked up. As we know, the goal of the USF Pro Championships is all about driver development, and of course for us, that's moving drivers and making them ready to go to the Indy Next program. Here at Road America, we put together a meet and greet with Indy Next team owners, with all of our drivers from USF Pro 2000, as well. The new director of Indy Next, Kirk Dooley, was here as well to get a chance to talk to these drivers, and of course brought all your teams. It is obviously a connection between us, and great to have our drivers, who are eventually going to be with you, meet all your team owners.
No, absolutely. It was a great opportunity to have these guys come up and meet our team managers. It helps to establish that relationship early. Now when they see each other in the paddock, they're going to be kind of saying hi to each other. And they've obviously got their eyes on them, for some time. But, again, it's just an opportunity to further reinforce that it's all about the whole driver approach to this sport. And, practicing early what you want to be is an important step.
One of the great things is all our drivers, we know they have that blueprint, right? They're going to follow in the footsteps of a Kyle Kirkwood, of a Christian Rasmussen, now of a Louis Foster as well, or a Lockie Hughes. Next is where they need to be, so they need to make those connections, and that's what this is all about, bringing all your team owners here, getting a chance to meet these young drivers. It's all about connections, and I think you and I talked about networking as well.
Oh, absolutely. Really going forward, these guys just need to focus on, so many things, even beyond just being fast in the car, and, just the ability to come up and have those conversations right now just was a great step today for sure.
All about building networking, building connections between, of course, the USF Pro Championships and, of course, Indy Next. Today's meet and greet with the drivers from USF Pro 2000 and Indy Next had a lot of drivers come up and be part of this. Got a chance to have some face-to-face time. Frankie Mossman, of course, from VRD Racing. I know you know a lot of people in the paddock through karting and the days, but to get an opportunity to talk to the team owners is really kind of an invaluable thing looking forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was a simple conversation just like the ones that we had in here that got my first taste of Next late last year. And so, but it was really cool to meet a lot of new faces for me, I've never met the Andretti team manager. It was nice to meet the new director of the series. And there was a lot of people involved that it was really cool. We've had a lot of good opportunities in the past come up from stuff like this. And, I'm just trying to follow in the footsteps of the champions of the Pro Series and the ones running up front and next as well, too.
We talk a lot about the cars themselves, the racing, but it really is all about people, whether it's people running the program, the drivers themselves, everybody around them. So really, it's just, again, all about people and getting a chance, to meet them face-to-face.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I come up with friends like Max and people that are already involved in the world. I guess it gives a face to a name. And so for me, it's just going to be about trying to get a seat coming into this next season by, I guess, trying to sell myself.
Hey, for all of us in the USF Pro Championships, we're proud to see these young drivers make their way to Indy next, potentially making their way to IndyCar as well. Frankie Mossman was among a lot of the drivers here in USF Pro this year, getting a chance to meet potentially their future bosses here at Road America.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
It's been a busy 3 days already for the drivers in the USF Pro 2000 program. Testing on Thursday, practice and a couple of qualifying sessions on Friday. And, of course, 2 races yesterday. And it, again, is going to wrap up a triple header for the drivers at the very top level of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. Getting ready to roll out here with 18 drivers. Another 15-lapper for you. A couple of great races yesterday for these drivers who are just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. Just about 5 minutes away from the command to fire the engines as well. So let's have a look at the 18 drivers we have on the grid and set to go. Again, my name is Rob Howden. I'll be joined by Eric Miller, the voice of Road America here throughout the broadcast. Let's have a look at that 9-row grid. Tail of the field, watch for this driver to work his way forward quickly. In fact, there's some fast guys further back trying to work their way forward. Michael Costello has had a rough weekend. He's looking to cap it off maybe with a recovery run here from 18th. The Pabst Racing driver out of Naples, Florida. Costello, the rookie in the number 20, will start alongside 61-year-old Charles Finelli, the ageless one. Finelli in the number 83 for Fat Boy Racing, rolling off from P17. Row number 8 on the outside will be Alessandro DiTullio, 3 times a winner on the season so far. DiTullio, who runs for Turn 3 Motorsports, currently sitting 4th place in points. DiTullio looking for a bounce back here as well, the number 44. He'll start 16th alongside the young driver out of New Zealand, Sebastian Manson for TJ Speed Motorsports. Manson in the number 28, starting 15th. Row number 7, starting 14th on the outside from California, Carson Etter in the exclusive Autosport machine has shown good pace. A couple of offs in race 1 and 2. He'll look to keep things on the asphalt to see if he can't work his way up into the top 10. Etter in the 92, starting 14th, alongside Tyke Durst from Turn 3 Motorsport. Durst in the 33, starting 13th. Row number 6 on the outside will be the number 2 of Cooper Becklin from Portland, Oregon for Turn 3 Motorsports. Podium finisher earlier this year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He'll start in the 12th spot alongside him from Greenfield, Indiana. Couple of top 10s already for Logan Adams. He joined us in the pre-show, and I know they've got the race on, the broadcast on at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Of course, that's the home track for the Dismore and Adams family. Shout out to everybody there for a KRA race. It's race day at Newcastle Motorsports Park, and I'm sure they've got the show on, as I said, at the Racers Grill. Moving up another row into the top 10 now, it's Ariel Elkin, currently sitting 2nd place in points. Elkin out of Israel for TJ Speed Motorsports. 3 wins during the month of May in Indianapolis. Started at the tail of the field in both of these races already, has worked his way up into the top 10, a much better starting spot for Elkin. He'll start on the outside of row number 5 and 10th alongside George Garce Arce, the Mexican driver for D-Force Racing in the number 10. Row 4 now, starting 8th on the outside, one of the 2 New Zealanders in the field, Jacob Douglas, who comes in here P5 in the points. Douglas for Pabst Racing, a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He will start in the 8th spot alongside fellow rookie Joey Brienza for Exclusive Autosport. 2 top 10s for Joey Brienza here as well this weekend. He was on the podium both races last year in USF 2000. That number 91 will start in the 7th position. Row number 3 will have Nicolas Monteiro, the Brazilian, for Turn 3 Motorsports on the outside in the 22. And look for a big jump for fast Frankie Mossman in the number 84. The Californian for VRD Racing will start P5. From there, we'll go to row number 2 on the outside. The British driver coming in to make his debut here in USF Pro 2000 this weekend. Turn 3 Motorsports, Joseph Loke, the rookie in the number 3, starting in the 4th spot alongside Max Taylor. Taylor 6th place in points. USF Juniors champion last year, the VRD driver out of Hoboken, New Jersey, set to go here in the number 88 from P3. 2 drivers on the front row, of course, ready to battle it out on the outside of the front row. Currently sitting 3rd spot in points, just 2 markers behind Ariel Elkin, is the Canadian driver, Mac Clark. Mac Clark in the number 90 for Exclusive Autosport, starting on the outside of the front row. It's been a great run of podium and top 5 finishes here for Mac Clark, but he wants to get that elusive victory here at Road America. But the driver they're all chasing right now is Max Garcia out of Coconut Grove, Florida. The Pabst Racing driver has not finished outside the top 4 yet this year. Back-to-back race wins yesterday, 4 wins on the season, looking to try to lock down this championship. A massive lead already in the title chase as we head from here to Mid-Ohio, then Toronto, then Portland. I'll tell you, everybody trying to battle at Max Garcia here. Time to get things underway, folks. We have, of course, one of our dignitaries down on the podium here today. This event is the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America. We've had a number of the people at Elite Engines help us out with the Command to Fire. Today, that is going to go to Michael Knapp, our on-site track support engineer. Here is the Command to Fire Engines.
On behalf of everyone at Elite Engines, drivers, start your Elite Engines!
And that is exactly it, folks. We have 3 levels of competition: USF Juniors, USF 2000, and USF Pro 2000. When we get them all together, we're 60 to 70 cars on track on a weekend. They all have Tatis chassis. They all have Continental tires. And every one of the engines that we have in our race cars here, propelling these drivers, of course, on the racetrack and up through the ladder system, trying to get to Indy next, they are built here in Wisconsin, in West Bend, by the Knapp family. And again, every car here is their baby. Every driver in front of that engine is someone they're rooting for. So again, thank you so much to Michael Knapp there. Logan Knapp was up there as well. We had Steve Knapp give us one of the calls. It's a family affair, as we said, over at Elite Engines. So shout out to them, and great to have them here. And of course, their name on the event here this week in the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America. As I said, in the championship battle right now, Max Garcia up front, 297 points for Garcia. Ariel Elkin, 223. So again, it's a 74-point lead right now, well over 2 full races of points. You think about when we look at heading to the finale in Portland, where it's a double header, all he needs is a 66-point lead when he leaves Toronto, and Max Garcia could be locking things down. And remember, it's all about chasing that scholarship, as we know. The champion in the USF Pro 2000 category, the scholarship worth over $594,000. That money going to move to Indy next in 2026. And again, we'll bring in Eric Miller here, the voice of Road America. Eric, I'll say this all the time as these drivers work their way around the racetrack here. It's this. Over the last 7 years, we've put 5 champions in IndyCar right now. Rinus VeeKay, Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, and the pole sitter, Louis Foster, for today's race. The other 2 drivers, the most 2 recent champions, Miles Rowe and Lockie Hughes, first and second, the other order around at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. This series that you're seeing right now builds future IndyCar drivers.
It does, and you can definitely see the progression from a lot of those drivers that are in the NTT IndyCar Series now that have been part of this ladder program, how well polished they are. They've got great car control. They have great car awareness, their surrounding awareness, and certainly part of that is also the media obligations too. And that's part of what USF Pro Championships does for this ladder program. It's not just all about getting these fast kids in the race cars. It's about building them to be the next superstar. Take advantage of these opportunities to see them, because this is one of the best race weekends.
Every component of being a complete driver is what we try to teach during the run-up through our ladder system, no doubt about that. I will say one thing. If you looked at yesterday's race, if you watched that race, and if you even more so watched Victory Lane, Max Garcia was spent at the end of that one. It was a very hot day yesterday. These guys only did 15 laps. And I only say this for those of you who are here today are going to enjoy yourself with a fantastic event today. Think about those IndyCar drivers out there in those cockpit cars. It is going to be hot. It is going to be a challenge. You do work on the racetrack. You do work on the sim. You do all the stuff for the sponsors, social media. You have got to get into the gym. The gym time, the sauna time, whatever it may be for these drivers. Again, they were tested yesterday. For those of you not here with us, 80 degrees trackside. It's going to be mid-90s probably today. Blue skies here, gorgeous day.
So with that, it's 81 degrees right now.
Yeah.
It's the same temperature right now that it was late in the day yesterday for round 2.
It's going to be a challenge, again, for these drivers, no doubt about that. Of course, early morning run here. We are going to go green flag racing when they come back around, ladies and gentlemen, starting things up with our final race of a triple header. Max Garcia sweeping the first 2 races. He is the dominant factor here right now. Last year's USF 2000 champion. The livery on that race car, our scholarship livery, the same livery you'll see on Lockie Hughes in the Indy Next race later on this morning. Again, field working their way up here. They'll get themselves formed up when they come out of turn 13 and 14. Wow, a lot of the drivers at the tail of the field have not yet got there. Max Garcia, very quick coming up over. Look at how many drivers are well back and are not even up into the order yet. They're going to hurry themselves up there. A lot of these guys are hoping maybe to get some drafts there, but a big, fast start on the warm-up lap for Max Garcia. Everybody else kind of getting left back. Otherwise, we are set, folks, for the final time here in USF Pro Championships at Road America. We are green, green, green. It's the run down into turn number 1. There we go. Drivers popping way wide. 3, almost 4 wide further back. 3 wide coming through the corner. Here we go, folks, starting off a Sunday here at Road America. Couple drivers to the outside of the rumble strips on the outside of turn number 1, getting back onto the racetrack, clean and green through the opening couple of corners. Down to turn number 3. You'll see 2 wide further back. Anywhere from 12th on back, they were 2 wide coming through turn number 3. Here's the run for Max Garcia. What he did throughout the weekend and all day yesterday was get out early, being able to jump out front, no challenge from behind. They're going to fight for him. For second spot, he's got a bit of a gap there. Big start for Max Taylor. He'll go into second. Taylor in front of Clark. So Max Taylor goes to second, Clark into third, and we are clean through turn number 5. Tough day yesterday for Max Taylor. Started on the outside of the front row for both of the races yesterday, but just went backwards in both races. Issues for him. Did not finish in the top 5, and not what we normally see out of Max Taylor, who was the USF Juniors champion last year, won a bunch of races in USF 2000 as well.
Header with a big lockup into 8.
Coming down into that turn number 8, the hurry down section there, downhill, getting a lock woed up to be able to get that turn 8 corner, which, Eric, you and I have talked about. It's a crucial corner. You don't really think about it, but that's the corner that starts the straightaway. It's from turn 8 all the way down to Canada Corner. You have to get through turn 8 cleanly.
Yeah, you got to get out of 8 cleanly, into 8, out of 8 cleanly, and then build all of that momentum in the downhill run through the carousel, all the way down to Canada Corner, which makes one of the best passing areas here at Road America. And you see that Max Taylor right now is still about 2 car lengths behind Garcia. Garcia, really the top 6 got into single file really quickly out of turn 3, Rob. And I think they learned after yesterday, when they were all still kind of bunched up 2 by 2 from third on back, it really jumbled up the race order throughout the early stages of that round 2.
Yeah, listen, we'll see what happens in these opening laps, right? Does anybody have anything for Max Garcia? He's been the dominant factor on the weekend. He'll work his way up the front straightaway here. We'll see what kind of a gap he's able to build. 0.4 of a second on the opening circuit. Driver off in turn number 14.
Turn 3
One of the turn 3 motorsports cars is off on the inside of turn number 14. That's very likely going to bring out a full course yellow.
That's Loke, I believe.
Potentially, yeah. Joseph Loke doesn't finish the opening lap. Loke stranded on the side of the racetrack, dead stick. Driver's right, coming out at Billy Mitchell Bend, turn number 13, before 14. Looking at Aaron Likens, and yeah, there it is, folks. Double yellows at start finish, full course yellow for a driver off. Not sure if it's mechanical, not sure if maybe contact coming up out of Billy Mitchell, but the bottom line is Max Garcia, Max Taylor, and Matt Clark, 1, 2, 3. Getting reports that maybe had a little bit of a rough ride coming through turn number 13, maybe dropped a wheel coming out of the corner, Eric.
It's certainly easy to do that quick, fast left-handed sweeper coming up on that blind hill, and then you got to toss the car in. It's really easy to run wide there, get on the rumble strips, and then you cross the what we would call the shortcut between 5 and 13. And if you get out too far, there's quite a grass undulation over there.
Undulation.
We'll put it that way. But to get over there, my assumption here is that he probably got wide and then kind of skipped over the shortcut and ended up kind of sideways in the grass. Kind of an odd angle for anything else.
It looked like Joseph got out of the car and then had to look at the left rear. So potential damage there on the car, whatever it may be. So opening lap, we get our first stoppage in play. We actually went green to checker in the first of the 3 races on the weekend. We do have a bit of a replay on this, folks. Sounds like he got some contact from behind, so we'll have a look at this. Remember, you're going to see very likely something coming into or out of Canada corner, turn number 12. So we'll give you a look at it here. Oh, here's coming out of 13. Oh, there's the contact there. I want to say that was Joey Brienza potentially got into the back of him coming up through the hill there. So he was wide coming out of that corner as well. But as it stands, the AMR crew out to get him cleaned up. Let's have a look and see how things shook down on the opening lap. Any major movers? Max Garcia is the leader, as we said. Max Taylor able to get by Matt Clark. Nicholas Montiero, big jump from the 6th place up to 4th. Good for him.
Bigger for Garcia.
Yeah, I was just going to say Garcia 9th up into 5th. So a couple drivers making some moves there. Garcia into the 5th spot. Frankie Mossman holding station in, actually he lost 1 spot. Logan Adams went from 11th up into 7th. Joey Brienza 8th. Jacob Douglas 9th. Douglas, who was in 8th, drops a spot. And Tyke Durst, who started 13th, now up into the top 10. So Garcia, Taylor, Clark, Montiero, and Garcia top 5. Mossman, Adams, Douglas, Brienza, and now DeTulio into the top 10. Durst 11th, Elkin 12th, Becklin, Eder, Costello, Manson, Finelli. And of course, as we know, the retirement Joseph Loke, the English driver for Turn 3 Motorsports. Not going to get to even 1 lap in this event. This isn't going to take much time, I don't think, especially with where the AMR IndyCar safety team's located. They've already got that car up. Yeah, they've already got the car up on the hook and bringing it in. So that's it for Loke. Very likely left rear damage there. We'll go back to green flag racing when they come back around.
Not the exact start that we were hoping for, Rob. We wanted a good, clean, green to checkered run, but in this situation, this is the 3rd time they've been on the racetrack from a race condition standpoint. But this is basically as early in the morning as you can possibly get here in Wisconsin, and it's already the same temperature it was middle of the afternoon yesterday. We don't have many mid-Florida days up here, but if just to kind of describe the weather right now, if you've ever been to one of the large vacation spots in Orlando in the middle of July, it's pretty much what it feels like right now. High humidity. And safety team over in turn 5, probably going back into the cut into position here.
Indeed, yeah. I wonder why the cars were all kind of woeing up there a little bit. But that AMR IndyCar safety truck, as you see, backing itself into its station just on the outside of, the outside essentially on the entry into turn number 5. Field will work its way back around. We will go back to green. Garcia, Taylor, Clark, Montiero, Garcia say the top 5. Couple of drivers making some big moves forward. Montiero, Garcia, and Adams, Logan Adams up into 7th. Another big shout out for those of you watching at the Racers Grill. Best of luck in the KRA race. All the Carters at Newcastle Motorsports Park here this weekend. I'll tell you one thing before we go back to green, there's a major race going on at Newcastle Motorsports Park the first weekend of October. It used to be called the RoboPong 200. It's now called, and the RoboPong was the company owned by Joseph Newgarden's father. It's now the MG Tires 200, and you're going to see a bunch of IndyCar racers. It's a 200-lapper at Newcastle Motorsports Park, $25,000 to win. And last year, Will Power, Joseph Newgarden, Kiffin Simpson, Jacob Abel, all those drivers ran in that event last year. In years past, it's been Ed Carpenter, Scott Dixon. There's going to be IndyCar drivers coming out to race. I'm hearing a lot about it right now. There's also a Briggs & Stratton race for $5,000 to win, 100-lapper. So you can do it by yourself or with a teammate. A couple drivers tried to do the whole thing by themselves, all 200 laps last year. Otherwise, you'll swap in, pit stops, you name it. That's at Newcastle Motorsports Park. I'll be there for that event. It is going to be awesome. I want to say the total prize package is $97,000 in cash.
My arms just feel like Jell-O already just thinking about that after 20 minutes.
That's Mark Dismore Sr. and Mike Adams. Those guys love karting. The Dismore family lives karting, as we know. So, again, Newcastle Motorsports Park, I'm sure watching today. We're back to green flag. It's flying once again. This is the shot here. Garcia is going to get challenged by Max Taylor. He immediately tucks out, and they're going to go side by side. Taylor's going to get a hand as well. Oh, we're going to go 3 wide. Wow, did Montiero drop his wheels in the grass coming up there? I don't know why he just didn't stay in the draft with Taylor. So Taylor does not get the help. Clark stays right with the draft. and pulls in. Very surprising that Monteiro just didn't hold the spot there. Tried to go around him as well. That's never going to work. And he ends up going all the way back to fourth. There was an opportunity for him to potentially help push all the way through, at least draft through with Taylor. Instead, trying to side draft him, it allowed Garcia to once again hold the spot. Matt Clark's been able to go back into the second position. He wisely grabbed a hold of him and was able to work his way forward there. So he'll go down to defend now into turn number 5, and Clark's thinking about trying to hold on to second. There's a big move to the bottom of the racetrack for Monteiro. He's trying to get to the inside there as well. Right in there is Garcia RC2. Wow, early race. Not surprising. Everybody trying to jump on the restart here. The start, the best place to overtake, and then Eric, the second best opportunity, is especially here at Road America, is that run down to turn 1 on any restart.
Well, especially on the restarts, and I'm thinking that maybe Monteiro just had too good of a run that he didn't want to, kind of abandon it. But staying in the draft would have probably been more beneficial.
I think so, too. The amount of races we've watched here, when you're trying to go wide like that, he obviously had to drop the left side wheels in the grass because he just kind of ran out of room. Would have been better to stay in the draft, I think, there. Had everybody been tucked maybe to the inside of the racetrack, they weren't at this point here. They were kind of mid-track. Driver slowing coming out of turn number 9. The long carousel there, and then coming over to the kink, pardon me. Not sure who that was. It was one of the darker cars.
Looked like coming out of 3 on the restart, there was a car that was slow and then slowly got back up to speed. Okay. But maybe electronic, I would think, potentially, just with the slow pace.
We're going to find out very quickly here when they come back through. It might be Frankie Mossman in the number 84 machine falling down the order. We'll have a look at that. Mossman was running in the 6th spot. Tough one for Frankie if it is indeed him. He's shown good pace here on the weekend. Yeah, Garcia, Clark, Taylor, Monteiro, Garcia, and indeed it is Frankie Mossman falling to the tail of the field. Jacob Douglas had some issues too. He's fallen back. We may be going back to full course yellow again, this time for a mechanical. Likely a driver who's potentially stopped down in, full course yellow again. Right back at it. Not an incident on the racetrack whatsoever, but a mechanical Frankie Mossman. Trouble for Loke, trouble for Mossman. And we'll stop it again. 4 laps in. It'll be 5 when they get back around. There's a perfect shot right underneath the Mission Bridge, Eric, is Frankie Mossman. And they're
out of the car as well.
You're not supposed to get out of your car, especially on the racetrack. He'll be having a chat with race control after this one, I believe, unless there's a fire in the car. That's the only other reason why he would be potentially jump out of the race car. Too far away for us to pick up the shot. But Garcia, Clark, Taylor, Monteiro, Garcia across the line. DeTulio up into 6th spot. Remember, DeTulio started 16th. How about plus 10 over 5 laps for DeTulio? Logan Adams in 7th, Ariel Elkin 8th, Joey Brienza and Tyke Durst now your top 10. But Mossman out of the car. Again, that's my only thought. If he jumped out of the car like that, was there potential fire? Obviously setting off the fire system. Otherwise, we are full course yellow once again. We just have not been able to get into a groove at all here at the start of this one. I wonder whether or not drivers like Clark, Taylor, and Monteiro are wondering, hey, listen, how many times are we not going to work together or not going to line something up to try to put Garcia back a couple of spots? He has really been, he hasn't been headed. He's led every lap all weekend long. So being told that they're going to have to get the Mossman machine up on the hook. So an issue for Frankie Mossman. That one's not going to get flat-toed back. But again, right there, the AMR IndyCar safety team will get this one cleaned up super quick, and we'll be going back at it. You can see they're already on the scene. Field working its way through there as well. 4 laps down. They'll put lap 5 in when they come back around. I would expect we'll go green next time, but not this time, but the next time around.
We often talk about making hay while the sun shines, right? And we talked about Ariel Elkin starting deep in the field yesterday and getting a fast enough lap to get him into the top 10. That's paying dividends, up already 2 spots. And as you go further forward, it is a little bit harder to start passing cars again. But DeTulio, again, started dead last after the weight penalty for after race 1, and then started towards the back again today, already up into that 6th spot. So capitalizing on some mistakes on the initial start, capitalizing on the restart. Now you've got another restart. What can DeTulio do with that?
Exactly. Where does he end up? Can he come from the tail of the field, starting this time in the 16th spot? Can he get to the podium? Can he get to a potential race win? Probably need another yellow here to get him into that fight, but we'll see how it plays out again. My thought more is whether or not Matt Clark, can he line up and make the move? From P3 on that restart, he stayed right behind Max Garcia, stuck on the gearbox and knowing all the stuff that was happening to his left with Taylor. And Taylor got a great jump. I thought Taylor might have been able to just drive right on by, but again, the issue with Monteiro not staying with him opened the door for Garcia to hold that spot once again. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out this time. I'm fully expecting that we'll go back to green this next time by, knowing that they're going to be able to get that car out of the way. You see Charles Finelli was hanging back there a little bit. Max Garcia, as we said, folks, getting to the point here right now where the drivers are going to start thinking they're fighting for second in the championship. He's that far ahead. Currently 74 points up. He only needs to be 66 up after we leave Toronto, and he'll have already clinched the championship. So an opportunity based on the fact we're looking at Mid-Ohio, we're looking at Toronto. But again, here's the one thing, as I said before, we saw it in USF 2000 yesterday, where the two drivers, Thomas Schrag and Jack Jeffers, were right together. Jeffers ended up in that opening lap incident. He finishes last. Schrag wins. All it takes in a race like Toronto is we know what the turn one's like, turn three like. You get into the wall and a couple of DNFs there in Toronto, and all of a sudden everything's wide open. We've got, of course, doubleheader at Mid-Ohio, doubleheader at Toronto, doubleheader at Portland. So after this weekend, 6 more races remain. And again, it doesn't take much for a minor miscue to put a driver like Garcia at the tail of the field. Although that's not his, let's say it, not his MO, not his trademark. Finished every lap of the season last year, and he's finished every lap of the season this year as well.
What are the things that IndyCar teams are looking for, as drivers progress up in, their next talent? They're looking for somebody that's going to take care of their race car, right? And that's what Max Garcia has, and that's why there's a lot of eyeballs on this series, of course, being part of the ladder system.
Yep.
But Garcia has certainly done last year with his championship performance last year, getting the scholarship and showing exactly why he's the scholarship winner from 2000.
In the segment that we had right after the pre-race show, we had a chance to sit down. We brought all our USF Pro 2000, a number of our Pro 2000 drivers into the suite earlier this weekend. Get a chance to meet with the Indy Next team owners, team managers. That was a fantastic opportunity. You talk about what these team managers and owners are looking for, right? They want blinding speed, of course. They want drivers to know how to win races, battle for championships. They want the consistency. Hey, bring my car home. I want to roll it in the trailer every time. And, of course, that's something that a number of these drivers have been able to do. But they want the full package if they can, right? They want a driver who takes the sport and his career 100% seriously. You are focused on getting the job done. All the different aspects of being a race car driver, flat out speed, of course, first and foremost. They want a driver who can win races, what just Chip Ganassi says, right? Chip loves winners. So that's what they're looking for. Winning races, finishing races, everything outside the car, all about being the complete driver. We are going to go back to green flag here this next time by, folks. They've got things cleaned up, as you see, down out of turn number 9 and going into turn number 10. We'll go back at it here. 6 laps will be down. We'll have 9 laps remaining. Max Garcia, Matt Clark, and Max Taylor, 1, 2, 3. Nicholas Monteiro and Alessandro De Tullio now up into the 5th spot as he was able to get by George Arce on that last run. The restart was a wild one for sure. Taylor got a big jump, but was not able to get any help from behind. Clark just jumped onto the gearbox of Garcia and streamed him through into turn number 1. Let's see whether or not Clark, does he pull the trigger? Does he go to the outside here in turn number 1? Getting back at it here. They'll punch off from turn 14. Green flag flying from Aaron Likens. Back at it once again. As I said, when they cross the line, it'll be 6 to go. Good jump for Garcia this time. It is a long run down. Clark's going to get a chance to use that draft. Oh, he's right on the gearbox. Clark going to pull out. Clark going to go to the outside coming into turn 1. Will he complete the pass? They'll be side by side coming down into the corner. Clark in the middle as Taylor goes all the way around the outside. Max Taylor around the outside, I believe, to take over the lead. Clark made the run. Taylor used the draft on both of them, and he made it 3 wide. What a pass there for Max Taylor as he goes to P1.
You got to think that Max Taylor was paying attention on the last restart and knew exactly kind of the ballpark area Garcia was going to go. Got himself a great jump in line and able to jump out to the lead.
And that happened because the drivers were more to the driver's right, to the wall down the bottom. There was lots of room for Taylor to go around the outside. He's got that spot now. Nicholas Monteiro and Alessandro De Tullio, the 2 Turn 3 Motorsport drivers, are now putting the pressure on Matt Clark. In fact, they're going to go side by side with each other as De Tullio looking to the inside of Monteiro coming through turn number 6, the blind uphill there. That's going to give Clark a little breathing room as he can now focus forward to try to see if he can't get himself back up to Max Garcia. But Eric, for the first time on the weekend, Garcia's not up front. Max Taylor of Hoboken, New Jersey, the driver for VRD Racing, finished 8th earlier this year in his Indy Next debut at Barber Motorsports Park. He'll do more Next racing here this year ahead of a full campaign likely in 2026. After a couple of rough first races, he's gone to P1.
You know, one of the things that kind of just piqued my interest was Taylor's restart when he stayed in line, and I think was probably in a good position on that first restart. Was able to take advantage of the draft in this situation, but you know, Max Garcia hasn't been behind traffic this weekend at all. He's been out front in both races. What's the handling going to change? What are the characteristics of that car going to do?
Listen, go all the way back to Thursday, because remember, we line up on pit lane with the team champion, the point leader up front, right? So the point leader's at the very front there, and that's Garcia. Every test session, he's the first guy out. Everybody behind him was using him for the tow. I don't know that he's had to do much running in a pack. So the first time, essentially, maybe a little bit during the testing session, but this will be the first time he runs now as the second place driver. Some battling further back. Look at this side-by-side action there. That's coming across the line with George Garcia Arce, Tyke Durst, and Joey Brienza. That's the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. More side-by-side racing coming down the hill as well. I believe that, look at that side-by-side. That may be Carson Etter trying to get to the inside of Logan Adams. Adams, who was top 10, not sure what happened on the restart, but Adams getting shuffled down into the 13th position. So whatever happened on the opening lap there, Logan Adams out of the top 10 after 2 strong top 10 runs yesterday. He'll have to fight his way back forward, trying to pick up Logan. Yeah, it's Logan Adams battling, I believe, further back there with Sebastian Manson now. So, indeed, there's Etter further back as well. So trouble for Carson Etter as well as he goes behind Finelli.
Last time on the way up the hill to 6 and into 7, Etter got a little bit offline at 7 and had to kind of bail out because he was wide of the apex. And it cost him probably about a half a straightaway.
He'll get himself back up on the horse and reel in Finelli and then make the move past. He's shown pretty good pace here. It has not been a good weekend for Carson Etter. Just a couple of minor miscues in both races yesterday sent him to the grass and back a number of spots. He was right inside the top 10 in race number 2 before going off in turn number 6. Taylor with the lead, though. Garcia second. Clark, Monteiro, and DeTulio. We'll see whether or not DeTulio's been able to get by his teammate. Clark actually closing up on Garcia as well as they come down to Canada Corner. Look at this, Clark right on the gearbox now of Garcia. One of the things to consider, and I didn't get a chance actually to look when they come out, did anybody hold a fresh set of sticker Continentals? Is anybody on new rubber for the last race? I know a number of drivers flip-flopped from the first race to the second race. Clark started race number 1 on used rubber, put the fresh rubber on for race number 2. Very likely on used rubber for this race here. So again, crossed halfway flags this time by. It'll be 8 down, 7 to go in a 15-lap race. There's Carson Etter. He's caught up to Finelli, and will make that move on Finelli coming up the hill. But Taylor's lead now almost a full second as Clark has gone around the outside. Book it. Matt Clark around the outside of Garcia. Move Garcia back to 3rd.
Long way around, but again, taking that shallow entry into turn 1 scrubs so much exit speed when you're kind of hung up on the inside. That was perfect positioning.
Let me just throw this out there, Eric, and here's the thing. Yes, could Max Garcia be fighting harder for these positions? Yes. Does he need to? No. And that's the key thing right there. He knows how hungry Taylor is. He knows how hungry Clark is. Matt Clark trying to get himself into second place in points. Garcia's going to battle him as much as he can. You can't let the guys behind you come because you don't want to fall too far back in the field. Get Clark rolling, get behind him. He's got such a point lead right now. In the end, he's going to have that, hey, listen, I need to get to this point total, and I'm going to be able to lock things down. He'll have that calculation done. How do we get there, right? Maybe it's a bunch of 5th-place finishes. Kind of what he did last year. He had a great run of wins early in the season, and then, I don't want to say coasted to the end, but he didn't have to be in the middle of the fight. A lot of races, he was outside the top 3, but he was stacking up those 4th and 5th-place finishes that allowed him to come away with the championship.
And how hard is it to get a young lion who is aggressive, elbows out, elbows up, to rein that back a little bit? There's a lot of temperament there for Max Garcia, understanding the gravity of the point situation, understanding the 4 corners of the race car, and completing every single lap. That you don't have to fight for every position to gain position.
And here's one right here. I believe that's now Monteiro putting the pressure here on either could be DeTulio or Monteiro starting to put the pressure on Clark as well. Look who else is up there. Hello, Ariel Elkin. He started back in the 10th spot this time. He is now closing up here as well. That may be DeTulio up into it. We'll see whether or not it's DeTulio or Monteiro, but we're going to have ourselves a scrap here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We've got guys starting deeper in the field that are trying to get themselves up onto the podium. Taylor leads. Clark runs in 2nd. And indeed, it's Garcia in 3rd, DeTulio 4th, Elkin 5th. Monteiro's gone back to 6th. Ariel Elkin +5. DeTulio is +12. Started 16th. He's running 4th. Knocking on the door, trying to see if he can't find a way by to get onto the podium. George Garciarce 7th. Tyke Durst has run great. +5 for Tyke Durst, 13th to 8th. Joey Brienza 9th, trying to go 3 straight top 10s for Brienza. And Jacob Douglas, who started up there in 8th, is now down into the 10th spot, still holding on to a top 10 spot for Douglas.
And Douglas was fighting up at the front of the pointy end of the field earlier on in the weekend, and had a little bit slower lap, setting starting position for race 3, but kind of expected Douglas to kind of work through traffic, and he's actually been falling backwards a little bit here, having problems just trying to stay with the lead pack.
I think that maybe Michael Costello's been able to get by Cooper Becklin as well. We'll have to look at that when they come back around here. I believe Costello is by. Costello, of course, as we know, started at the very tail of the field at 18th. He has had a rough one. Some issues with that race car, and at one point, and I'm not sure how it happened at all, but he had the fire extinguisher system go off inside the car. That was the race where he was off track. It's been a rough one for Michael Costello, but he's ready to bounce back. We'll see him back here at USF Pro 2000 next year. His debut here this year. He's going to be a force next year for sure when he gets that first full season under his belt. And that's kind of the interesting thing about this program. It's its 15th year, or we're into the 16th year. For the first couple, it was just USF 2000. Then we added what was then the Star Mazda Series, rebadged as Pro Mazda. It would eventually become Indy Pro 2000 and now USF Pro 2000. But common thought at the start was 2 years in every level. That's what you did. You know, your first year you learn, the second year you win. So it's kind of a 6-year run all the way through Indy Next to be able to make the move up. Then of course Kyle Kirkwood rolls in, wins USF 2000, gets the scholarship, moves to USF Pro 2000, wins there as well, gets the scholarship, goes to Indy Next, wins there as well, and then of course found himself with AJ Foyt Racing and ultimately Andretti Global. So. A lot of drivers now think in their mind that they could potentially go, one and done, just kind of 1 year in every level. Kyle Kirkwood was and is a generational talent. I'm just going to throw that out here right now. I've been able to watch Kyle come up through the ranks. That guy is absolutely phenomenal. Not surprising, one of the 2 winners here on the season, with 3 victories so far this year in IndyCar. So, indeed, if a guy like Costello, if he comes back next year, he's going to be a force for sure.
Absolutely, and honestly, 1 to 2 seasons is probably just the maturity level when you get to then, what would be the step up from pro being Indy Next. And I think you're just looking for a little bit of overall growth, and there is a certain maturity that comes with being able to just, again, we talk about Max Garcia, winning that championship last year, moving up, but there's a maturity there that he presents, very similar to Kyle Kirkwood, where it's just very pointed, visor comes down, and he's in control of his own destiny, very much like Kirkwood was for those seasons.
Sometimes we have to remember that these drivers are 16, 17, and 18 years of age as well. When Kyle came into USF 2000, I think he was 17 or 18, so he was already on the older level. The amount of growth we see from these drivers from St. Petersburg to Portland and then on to the next season, and I try to get that across to the parents all the time. Your kids are growing, they're young, they're learning. They're going to be so dramatically different at the start of the next season, having already gone through this year's experience. It's just so much to watch these drivers develop, become more comfortable, understand more about the dynamics of the race car, the business of motorsports. They learn so much year on year. Taylor, your leader. Let's come back to the race here a little bit because we've got some developments. Let's have a look here. The drivers moving their way forward. Costello is one of those drivers moving, coming across the line. Taylor is your leader. The gap right now, but we've got a big fight here for second spot. Watch as they work their way down into turn number 1. As again, Garcia right there. He actually went purple, and in fact, he gets back by Clark. Indeed, fast lap there for Max Garcia. He ends up going into the second spot. Okay, so maybe that being told potentially Matt Clark got a essentially a position penalty for blocking, being told he had to give the spot back. So blocking on Clark, blocking Clark on Garcia, he had to give the spot back. So that really, again, that wasn't an overtake to a certain extent. So Clark's going to have to go back to work. So Garcia goes up into second, Clark in third. Ariel Elkin was able to get by Alessandro De Tullio over the last 2 laps. So it's De Tullio now back to fifth, Elkin up into the 4th spot. Look at this battle further back here as well. That is some great racing further back. That is Jacob Douglas, Tyke Durst, Michael Costello, Joey Brienza. That is the fight from 8th back into the 11th position. And Cooper Becklin only a half a second back from that as well. So the fight inside the top 10, inside and outside the top 10, is an epic one right now. Let's see if Clark can put his head back down. As I said, I had to give up that spot due to a blocking penalty, but Garcia did go purple on lap number 10. Fast lap of the race, another bonus point for him as well. Does he have what it takes over the last 4 laps here to close up on Max Taylor? The lead last time by was 0.7 of a second. Taylor trying to get that victory. Again, looking at the race wins we've had so far, De Tullio, Elkin, Garcia, Douglas, race winners on the season so far. Garcia now with 4 wins, 3 for De Tullio, 3 for Elkin, and a single victory in Indianapolis for Jacob Douglas. Will we get our 5th winner on the season? Can Max Taylor get the victory? He's won in USF 2000, or rather USF Juniors. He's won in USF 2000, looking here to win as well in USF Pro 2000. Oh, he goes around the outside. Book it, he's through. Garcia back to the lead. Big run. That what was 0.2 of a second at the line, but look at this. He's going to fight him down to the corner as well. Taylor, can he have anything to come back at him? 3 laps to go.
Again, patience and the maturity. You don't have, there's a time to fight and there's a time to just wait in the weeds and wait to push the button. And I think you're seeing that from Garcia right now.
All right, this is Taylor getting a big run out. He's
long way around.
Him, goes all the way around the outside. Big run down the inside. Watch for the over-under to come. Clark's going to try to close up as well. He's going to pinch him all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. Taylor's going to throw it in the bottom. They're side-by-side coming through turn number 6. They go off the racetrack. That is Garcia. Garcia goes off the racetrack. You come back in P4. And here comes De Tullio. He's not going to want to give it up as well. De Tullio's going to go to driver's left coming down the hill. And he goes off the racetrack, I believe. Garcia potentially shoving De Tullio off the racetrack in turn 7. Why not? Race 3. Let's get at it. Side-by-side contact. But those 2 drivers coming out of turn number 7. Eric Elbows up here for the final laps at Road America.
Well, again, the announcer's curse never seems to fail, at least once around. But that was probably the first time we've seen a little bit of frustration maybe from Garcia.
Listen, the over-under came. He came up to the very top of the hill, and Max just drove him all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. And that, again, one of the things we talk about is you cannot move in reaction to another driver. He came out of the corner. Obviously, Taylor was there, and he came across. Race control will 100% be looking at that one. But again, it may be just damage done as well. He blocked to the inside, contact up coming into the corner, and that has put Taylor back into the lead. But it also means
look who's third.
That Matt Clark is right there, and Ariel Elkin. Are you kidding me? Ariel Elkin. Remember, folks, electrical issues in both qualifying runs for Ariel Elkin. He started race 1 and race 2 at the tail of the field. He had to use his fast lap from race 2 to work his way to get a better starting spot for race number 3 here today. Started 10th, he's into 3rd, so Elkin's pushing. Taylor
chipping away at it all weekend long.
100% on that. Yeah, exactly. The gap between first and second, just a half a second. White flag will fly next time by. Final lap on the racetrack will be coming up here. Matt Clark looking for his first win of the year, as is the driver in front of him leading the way, Max Taylor. Elkin pushing hard as well to try to recover. He's right in the hunt. A little further back there is Garcia. He's able to get on the racetrack, having got through that contact with De Tullio. De Tullio still 5th, Montiero 6th, Garcia in 7th, Douglas, Costello, and Durst. Tyke Durst into the top 10 here. But again, this thing's going to come down to some drafting here and to see whether or not Matt Clark has anything for Max Taylor and whether or not Elkin can double draft him up. He's actually closed up on Matt Clark as well. Elkin and Clark in the middle of a heated battle for second spot in the championship right now. They're in front of Garcia. You wouldn't want to throw it away because you're making up a little bit of points right now. You never know what's going to happen in terms of the final positions. Everything we say, of course, at the end of the race is all unofficial. Taylor with the lead. Garcia's back up on the horse to try to see if he can't get to the podium once again. He's closing up, actually. Remember, he's the fastest driver on the racetrack, outright Max Garcia. He's trying to get back in here on Ariel Elkin. Out of Billy Mitchell. There's the lead between first and second. The white flag will fly this next time by, as we said. We'll see if Matt Clark can get anything in that draft coming out of 14. Got to put a magic lap in here, or Max Taylor is going to come away with the victory. Look at Garcia. Garcia is close enough on Elkin that we may see a move coming into turn number 1 for Garcia to try to go back to the podium. Yeah, he's within 3 car lengths. Final lap of the racetrack for USF Pro 2000 to cap off 3 races here. 5 in total with USF 2000 as well. Not quite for Garcia. Very close on Elkin, but Elkin will have to be looking backwards now, not forward, to try to get to Clark. That's going to give Matt Clark an opportunity to focus here on maybe reel on in Max Taylor, because Garcia's coming. Max Garcia battling with Taylor, tried to block him down into turn 6. Contact set him off the racetrack on the exit of the corner. He came back on right in front of DeTulio. DeTulio were running around the outside of turn 7. They made contact. DeTulio went off the grass. Elkin closing on Clark. Garcia closing on Elkin. Final lap. Max Taylor looking to get another victory. I think he'd end up being one of the only 2 drivers who have been able to win in Juniors 2000 and Pro 2000. Of course, we started Juniors back in 2022. Nikita Johnson, I believe, has won in all 3 levels as well. And of course, Nikita, we'll see him in Indy next year in a couple of races here this year, running over in GB3 here in 2025. Max Taylor looking to be the second driver to win in all 3 levels of the current ladder system here in the USF Pro Championships. And he's got a pretty good lead coming through the kink. I think Clark would have had to been a lot closer with the run down into Canada Corner. Clark looking to have yet another podium finish. It has been a run for Matt Clark. I want to say this right now. Top 5s in the last 6 races. He's had 5 of 6 on the podium, trying to go 6 of 7. Clark keeps pushing. Same goes for Garcia as he's trying to close up here. He's almost onto the gearbox. Look, he's right there on Elkin. But out of turn number 14, he's not going to get challenged. 5th winner on the season here at USF Pro 2000. Race 3 for USF Pro here at Road America goes to Max Taylor. VRD wins again. Big weekend for VRD. 3 wins out of the 5 races. They swept the action. USF 2000. Max Taylor wins by 0.6 of a second over Matt Clark. 6 podiums in 7 races for the Canadian Matt Clark. This kid is a phenom, as is Ariel Elkin, from 10th up to 3rd. After all the issues in qualifying, 3 top 10s. And Elkin finishes 3rd, Garcia 4th, Alessandro DeTulio ends up in 5th, Nicholas Montiero 6th, George Garcia 6th, Jacob Douglas, Michael Costello, and Cooper Becklow just able to slip by Tyke Durst on the final lap.
That podium for Elkin's got to feel almost as good as a win right now. You got to think so after the way that this weekend started.
Yeah, exactly that. Qualifying, no laps at all in either qualifying, and to be able to come back with 3 top 10s and a podium finish, Eric, absolutely impressive. I'm going to head to Victory Lane right now. Lots of racing, of course, as we know to come. Don't go anywhere. Eric's going to take you through to the podium. He's going to give you the, of course, unofficial results, the full field rundown, and then, of course, after that, we'll wrap things up from Victory Lane.
Max Taylor, your winner in the 88 machine, led 9 of the 15 laps here this morning for VRD Racing. Matt Clark coming home with the 2nd position for Exclusive Autosport. Ariel Elkin for TJ Speed Motorsports, your podium. We'll celebrate with them with Rob Howden coming up in just a few moments. Max Garcia for Pabst Racing had the pole for all 3 races, led and won almost the entire race 1 and 2. And then led the first 6 laps here at Road America, finishing in the 4th position. The 44 of Alessandro DeTulio will finish 5th for Turn 3 Motorsports. His teammate Nicholas Montiero 6th for the 22 machine. The 10 of George Garcia finishes in the 7th position for D-Force Racing. The Pabst Racing teammates Jacob Douglas and Michael Costello. Costello really a good rebound after having a kind of a disastrous race 1 and 2, and just a kind of a bad situation in the qualifying session. But Douglas and Costello in 8th and 9th, and then Cooper Becklin for Turn 3 Motorsports in the 10th position. Tyke Durst, the 33, for Turn 3 Motorsports, his teammate, finishing 11th. Joey Brienza in the 91 will finish 12th for Exclusive Autosports. TJ Speed Motorsports, Sebastian Manson will finish 13th. Logan Adams finishes 14th. Carson Etter, an up and down weekend. Had some pace, just not the results to show for it for Exclusive Autosport. The 83 Charles Finelli and Frankie Mossman, Joseph Logue both did not finish, finishing 17th and 18th here at Road America, the USF Pro 2000 third and final race of the weekend. We have morning warm-up on the way from the NTT IndyCar Series here at the track, but still yet to come podium celebrations. There he is, Max Taylor. You got a feel for these drivers too. Yesterday afternoon it was 81 degrees. It is very humid, hot. Again, the term that we use a lot here in Wisconsin, muggy. But it is a brutal heat index today here at Road America with the rest of the afternoon. Now, keep in mind that these drivers completely wiped after about 15 laps yesterday. Same thing here, wiped out. But the adrenaline kicks in when you get to the checkered flag floorboard here at Road America, the 70th anniversary season at America's National Park of Speed. You see the celebration for VRD Racing. Lots of smiles. And waiting for a podium celebration. USF Pro 2000 Championship presented by Continental. Waiting on Rob Houghton down in Victory Lane. See, they're gathering the drivers. A little bit of a reprieve from the sunshine in Victory Lane. If you head into the Victory Lane building, if you get a chance to be in there for these drivers for just a moment, grab a drink of water, and then we'll get into the celebration. Looks like Rob is just to the right side staircase, just about set to get our celebrations underway. You never know how hard it is to wrangle a celebrating driver when he's got family, friends, and the team surrounded. It's, if any of you out there have about 4 or 5 kids and you're trying to get them to the school bus in the morning, it's really what it is, for lack of a better description. And that does apply even all the way up to the NTT IndyCar Series, sometimes wrangling those drivers to get them to where they need to be just from the pure excitement of their wins. But getting them into their positions for the celebration and the sparkling cider here on race day Sunday for the Expel Grand Prix weekend at Road America. Big celebration on hand, waiting to come through. Track inspection under process as well as we get set for morning warm-up for the NTT IndyCar Series. All right, it's time to get celebrating here for USF Pro 2000 presented by Continental, your winner's podium. Here's Rob Houghton.
Engines Grand Prix of Road America. 3 very deserving drivers just 2 steps away from IndyCar putting on a show here today. A fantastic run by all these drivers up front. Let's start with a racer coming home in 3rd place today, folks. I just want a quick story, of course. Issues in qualifying. Didn't get a lap in. Started at the very tail of the field for the first 2 races. Came into the top 10. Used his fast lap from race number 2 to start 10th. He gets to the podium. I don't think he ever thought he'd be to the podium after that horrible qualifying issue. Ladies and gentlemen, from TJ Speed, it is Ariel Elkin finishing 3rd place today. What a drive. Becca Potke will bring that P3 trophy in for Ariel. What a fantastic run for him. 3 wins in the month of May, and to turn it around after a dismal start to the day to come home P3 today, very, very impressive. As I said before, this young Canadian driver who finishes in second spot today now has a run of 6 podium finishes in the last 7 races. That 7th race was 5th. Top 5 in all the last 7 races. Ladies and gentlemen, from Exclusive Autosport, P2 goes to Matt Clark. What a run for Matt Clark so far this year. Michael Knapp will bring that second place trophy in. The first race win here at Pro is just around the corner for Matt Clark for sure. Looking forward to the remainder of the season. But again, 5 winners on the season right now. Only the second driver ever to win in Juniors 2000 and now Pro 2000. Give it up for the winner today from VRD Racing. That is Max Taylor! I love that stat, man. It means you just keep winning on the way up. Just give me your feeling on how it means to you to win here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was an intense race. It was wild, action-packed, and I had to do everything right, and the VRD boys did everything right to give me a great car, so I really felt like I needed that win to kind of prove to myself that I can do this, and that stat is pretty nice as well, winning at all 3 levels, and I think we're just going to keep on winning with the VRD team or whoever I'm with. I'm just so happy and so grateful for the position that I'm in.
What about those last couple of laps? Obviously, Matt Clark was pushing on you there. He was getting close to the last lap. Tell me about that final circuit.
Yeah, no, it was intense. I was really nervous in the car, to be honest. But yeah, all the guys, Mac and all of them, were keeping me on my toes. They did a really good job, and it's really great in this championship to see such a fierce competition. It makes all of us better drivers, so it's really great to see.
Who would you like to thank today?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, my sister, all of the VRD team, everyone who comes to watch and support me. It means so much to me, it really does. So I'm just so grateful.
Congratulations, Max. Max Taylor, folks, the winner today. Fantastic job. Logan Knapp, bring that trophy in for this guy here. He's going to put it on the mantle with those other wins he's already had here. USF Juniors champion last year, multiple winner in both the USF 2000 and USF Juniors last season. Now a winner here as well in USF Pro 2000. Only the second driver to have won in all 3 levels of the current ladder system here in the USF Pro Championships program. But just you think about the accomplishments of all 3 of these drivers. Amazing. Of course, Matt Clark, as I said before, 6 of the last 7 races on the podium, everything in the top 5. He is on a roll right now. The consistency for Matt Clark, and then, of course, the amazing recovery for Ariel Elkin after issues in qualifying. 2 top 10s yesterday, and he storms his way from 10th up to 3rd place today. Just a fantastic overall weekend for Ariel as well. And again, we talk about the international flavor of this program. Of course, Max Taylor from America, United States, Matt Clark from Canada, and Ariel Elkin from Israel. So again, fantastic group of drivers. We are training a absolutely stellar field for Indy Next to move there in the next couple of years. And a great way to cap off this year's trip to Road America. Always great to start the second half of the season here at Road America. Such a beautiful racetrack. We know it's been a challenge for the drivers with the heat as well. It's going to be a tough day for those in the IndyCar and Indy Next programs because the temperature is going to keep rising throughout the day. But for us to be able to bring our young drivers here for you, the ones that we're going to see working their way up into Indy Next and IndyCar over the next number of years, it's a privilege for us to be here at America's National Park of Speed. Thank you to everybody from Road America. The hospitality, always amazing. Had a fantastic autograph session yesterday as well. The fans here know they're racing, and we love that. We'll get the VRD team, give them the opportunity to get this race car rolled out of the way so it doesn't get covered in champagne because this is the final podium of the weekend. So they're going to spray this champagne. They're going to go after each other because these suits can go to the dry cleaners after today. Folks, cars out of the way. Let's wrap up this weekend, boys. Grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate the final race of the year. The first win for Max Taylor in USF Pro 2000. Matt Clark coming home in second. Ariel Elkin finishing in third. Fantastic race with these 3 talented drivers. Championship still up for grabs. It's not done yet. Next up for these racers in 2 weeks' time, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course along with IndyCar for the July 4th weekend. Looking forward to watching Juniors 2000 and Pro all on the racetrack, part of the event at Mid-Ohio. That caps things off. A beautiful day here, beautiful Sunday morning at Road America. For those of you tuning in on the broadcast, thank you so much for being with us throughout the weekend. It has been an awesome one here at Road America. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.